Hello traders, welcome back to GolgiFx, and this is your boy Golgi. So in this video, we'll be looking at supply and demand. In details, you will see what supply and demand is, the law of supply and demand zones, which is very important in price action, and also we will look at how and why supply and demand zones are created. So if you are new to our channel, please like this video and subscribe to our channel to be notified in our coming videos. And also, if you are a returning subscriber, thank you for supporting our channel and liking our videos. Traders, let's get into the video. What is supply and demand? So in short, demand is how many buyers there are in a given market and how much they are willing to buy an instrument. And also, supply is how many sellers there are in the market and how much they are willing to sell an instrument. So traders, let's look at this. If we represent this as our line chart, if you look at the blue one, you can see that the market is at a consolidation zone. And this zone is where buyers are located. And when demand exceeds supply, we can see that there is a push to the upside. So if you look at our chart, you can see it clearly identified on it, and we can see a very strong push to the upside. That is when demand exceeds supply. Also, if you look at the red point, we can see the market is at a supply zone. And if you look at the price line, we can see that price is at a balance zone where the market starts to consolidate at a region. So when supply exceeds demand, you will see a massive push to the downside. So we can say that these 2 points, the blue and the red, this level represent the supply and the demand level. And when demand exceeds supply, we can see a push to the upside. And when also supply exceeds demand, we can see a push to the downside. Also, let's look at the laws of supply and demand. So if you look at the law of supply, we can say that the higher the price, the higher the quantity which is supplied. So we can also say that the lower the price, the higher the quantity is demanded. This can help us in our supply and demand zones. So if you look at supply and demand, or if you look at supply zone, we can say that a supply zone is a horizontal price area at which a lot of sudden selling has occurred. So this results in an imbalance between supply and demand, where the supply greatly exceeds demand, pushing price down. So this results in an imbalance between supply and demand. So when supply greatly exceeds demand, we can see that price will push down. So if you look at our chart, we can see that this level, that's where supply becomes equal to demand, or where supply equals demand. We will see that the market will mostly be in a ranging form, or the market will be in a range. And when supply exceeds demand, then we see that the market will push to the downside. That's what we have represent on our chart. If you look at this level, you can see it represents at this level. So same as demand, we can say that a demand zone is a horizontal price area at which a lot of sudden buyers had occurred. And this results in an imbalance between supply and demand. Where demand greatly exceeds supply, we can see that there will be a push up in price. So if we look at our chart again and look at this level below, we can see that when supply is equal to demand, we can see price tend to consolidate around this point. And exactly when demand becomes greater than supply or exceeds supply, we can see that the market will start pushing to the upside. That's what is represented on our chart. So it's very important to be looking at this level. So these are very important points on a chart that we mostly look and study these levels. We can see that the zones where prices is moving away from with a lot of momentum, these are the levels which a lot of traders become interested. And also because whenever this happens, it's a sign that there's balance in supply and demand. And also when we see that the market have shifted, we can see it clearly. Because whenever this happens, it's a sign that there is balance in supply and demand, and traders tend to be patient to look for shift in price. Either we see demand exceeding supply or supply exceeding demand. So now the question is, how and why are supply and demand zones created? So in a market, we can say that the asset is the product and the rate value is the demand. So if price is cheap, it means there is more supply than willing buyers. And also, if the product gets expensive, this means that there is more demand than supply. So by understanding the supply and demand concept, it will be very simple to spot the zones on the chart, and also trying to analyze and defining our zones in the past. These zones will help us to determine where we should be expecting price to react in the future. So traders, this is all we have for this video. I hope you like it. Please like and subscribe to our channel, and see you in the next video.